All right, so time for another one. So I figured what I would do is just hit record. I need to get under the hood. I haven't done this in a minute. Welcome to new subscribers, all that. Appreciate you. Just been super busy, just making signs and making videos about the signs I make, that kind of stuff. But it's been a minute since I've actually broke open the code base and did some changes and kind of showed you what's up. So part of the fun part about using your own coding and being your own user is that you also have to be your own tech support. So you have like two personalities. The one is just you're using all the buttons and you're getting your stuff done, but you're finding things that are wrong. You're finding things that could be better. And so then you have to write your other self a trouble ticket. You have to do a bug report. But the problem is at the end of the day, once you switch over to your tech support says, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. So it's been a minute. These are things that I've been kind of meaning to get to. And like I said, they're kind of small things that I wish I'd have known a lot earlier when I first got started. You know, basically, once I learned how to just push a button to make like a red circle, I was excited. I didn't even know how to do error handling or anything like that. And I just went crazy, started making buttons. If I'd have known this earlier, it would have been a lot easier, which is why I figured I would just kind of give you a warning or, you know, like, don't be like me. Because I know there's some people out there that are they do their own code. They ask me questions and stuff. So I thought maybe this could help. It's just a simple line of code. And like I said, I just wish with all of these buttons that I have, I just wish I'd have known it a lot earlier. So learn from me. It's real simple. Show you what's up. So what the issue is it's called shifting focus. So the way the Windows operating system works is that you have your main program. Let's say, you know, the Windows operating system, we have Corel Draw, which is Corel Draw proper here, right? So you can see where up in the top corner, which would be the top left here, Corel Draw has its color icon and it's all, you know, dark black here. So what Windows is saying is now this is in focus. So Windows is paying attention to this program and everything you want to do, it's going to happen in this program here. The thing about Corel is that it has another program with inside of it, which is the Windows Visual Basic stuff, which is the applications. So that's the macros. So there's actually two programs running simultaneously, and the focus switches back and forth from your macro, which is technically called a user form. This user form is its own program, and it's running. And now you can see where Corel Draw, when I select rectangular here, Corel Draw is grayed out. And that means that nothing I do will happen on Corel Draw. Corel Draw proper, I call it, is not being focused upon. So it would not register any inputs. The only inputs that are happening is on rectangular. Now, if I select Goodbar, Mr. Goodbar here, you can see rectangular went light. Corel Draw is still out of focus. And now Mr. Goodbar is in focus. So the problem is like, this isn't really a big deal per se. But what happens is, it goes from anywhere from being annoying, having to switch focus back to Corel Draw proper, like I just did. If you look up at the top left, Corel Draw is now dark and it's in color. So that means that the rest of the user form programs are asleep. They're not being focused. But having to kind of click a button or reselect in order to shift focus back from the button you just pushed, like I said, when I first started, I was just excited that I was making shapes. That's great. But now, like once you start getting better, I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, you get into what I call a flow state. And I'm sure other people call it flow state, but I'm just saying is like you start pushing buttons, you're like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. I'm going to make shapes. Well, if you have to constantly kind of stop and reselect shapes and stop and bring Corel proper back into focus every time you use your macros, that can get annoying. And it did, but this was years ago. So I kind of went through, it's kind of a chore, but I actually spent like a day going through and all of these buttons, everything you see, I went through and added the line of code that it takes to shift focus back from your macros, user forms, back to the actual document you're working on. So what I'll do is I'm just gonna make some circles real quick, and I can just kind of show you how it can be both annoying and somewhat detrimental. I'm not going to say dangerous. It's not like anyone gets hurt, but it can be detrimental because what it'll do is if you accidentally, because these macros can be kind of powerful and they can do a lot of things all at once. They're good at batch processing. The problem is they can process the batch quickly, but if you have to revert, you might accidentally have done like 200 objects, and then you're going to have 200 undos. You're going to have to do 200 control Zs. First of all, I don't have time for that. Second of all, you might not have that many undos. So you end up just not saving and closing the document and losing your work, but it's the only way to save what you did. And again, it's not dangerous, but it can be annoying and you don't want it to happen. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to duplicate these, hit my nudge. So here's some shapes to work with. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to select the shapes. Now, Corel people know. So you see Corel up in the top left, the green icon, Corel's in focus, and these shapes are selected. You can see the boundary rectangle with the 9 black squares. So if I hit my nudge, okay, I have control over these. Okay. Now if I just click on Mr. Goodbar here, if I just click on its bar, now you can see nothing changed. It looks like I still have control over these shapes. The problem is if you look at the top left, Corel Draw Proper is not in focus. I do not have control over those shapes. Now I have control over Mr. Goodbar. And now if I hit nudge, you can see what's going on here is that I'm accidentally selecting these check marks. Now you can see here, I'll put it right in the middle. If I unselect these, if I go up, there's 270, there's 0, and I'm doing this by hitting nudge. What I want nudge to do is to move these shapes. See, I just clicked back my focus to Corel. That's the annoying part, okay? But if I don't realize that focus is still on Mr. Goodbar, and if you see where it's on 22.5, now it's at 0, now it's at 270. But if I accidentally select a radio button or a checkbox, what it does is it automatically selects it and it makes it true. I did not select that. And all I got to do is do a knock over once. And now I've selected negative turn. This could be troublesome, and it is. This particular one that says separately, I have these rotations to automatically do the whole bunch. That was just 90, the whole bunch. If I hit undo, I can go back. If I hit separately without knowing it and I hit 90, each of these shapes just turned 90, but the whole shape didn't. And now I have to undo this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. You see, that could be bad. And that has happened to me. So I'm clicking along, cruising, and I didn't realize that my focus hadn't shifted back to Corel Proper, and it accidentally was selecting these check marks by accident, and I didn't know. Also, if you keep focus on Mr. Goodbar and you have a pull down menu, you will just select, look, I'm just selecting through, and I'm not seeing that. If I'm not paying attention, I just switched this value, and I might have wanted a 0.04, but I accidentally now just shifted it to 0.75. And now I go to do it and it's like, boo. So all it is just a line of code, and it's very simple. I'm kind of over explaining, but I just want to show you if you're doing it at home, if you're learn from me, put the line of code in and it makes it better. What I did though, I've put the line of code in everything, but I keep finding ones that I missed. So ones that I missed are these green guys here. What they do is they add this value to the shape, to the side that it's pointing. So if you see this guy here, right, I want to add 3/4 of an inch to the left, but you see that Corel is grayed out. Look at the top left of the screen. Corel is grayed out. Mr. Goodbar is still selected. And when I go to nudge, I'm not controlling the shapes. I'm just selecting and, randomly moving. We don't want that. So these 4 still need to be corrected. And I noticed I have done it to all of these guys. So these actually shrink. So this adds, this shrinks. But this particular one, I missed. So when I hit this button, it does not do that. Also, my hunter killer. So this one is just a thing that goes and finds fonts. It finds things quickly. I understand you can do that with the tools up here that they give you in Corel, but it's a lot more clumsy and it's a little bit slower. Sometimes I just want to find something that has the outline color that I want. So I go like this. What I do with hunter killer is I double click the value here, the checkbox, whatever, the text box. You double click it and it will load the outline color of the selected shape. But you can see where the focus has stayed on hunter killer and it has not shifted back to Corel. That could be a problem because when I hit the button to get cracking, now I'm just selecting through. See, it's just selecting through. It's not moving the shape. If I select back to Corel, now I can move the shape. This is what I want to do. But if I hit hunter killer, I'm no longer controlling the shape and it's just annoying. So I have to literally either click here and then reselect, So like if I have these guys here and I go to hunter killer and I don't have control of my shapes, then what I have to do is click. I have to click inside of Corel. I lose the selection and then I have to reselect. And so to do that over and over and over becomes very tedious. So I noticed that I did not put that line of code on these. This one does for the fill. So if I want to find shapes that have this color yellow, I double click and it will find that color yellow. And then I go like this and boom, there they are. I found them. But I want focus to shift back to Corel proper and get off of hunter killer when I'm done. Now you'll see I added it to these other lines. I think I did. Oh, I didn't do it to that one too. I thought I did it to these. Okay, I did it to these. Yeah, but I didn't do it actually kill fonts. Oh, okay. So I got to do it to that one too. Anyway, so let's get after it. Let me show you what we got to do. So what you do is you go over here to your scripts, Docker. You open up that Docker, make sure it's there. And if you don't know that, you go to Window and you go to your Dockers, not the Dockers you wear, but the Dockers here, and then go to scripts down here. You got to check it, and then this will always be there. I have this on my second screen over here, but I bring it over here. So what you're going to do is right click and show IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So what that does is that brings up where all the codes live. Now, if you select hunter killer and then open up your Visual Basic thing, then what it does is it takes you to that right away. So there's hunter killer. So what I'm going to do is just double click it. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to find the buttons that I want to change. So kill fonts needs it. So what you do is it's at the very last. It's the last thing it does is you need to give it a line of code that handles. So it does all the code and then it hands off the attention, the focus back to Corel proper. And the way to do that is a single line. It's very simple. And just like with any code, you start big. So you tell Windows, you say, Windows, I want Corel. So you type application, which is Corel application. And then just like anything, you start to work smaller. The next period is smaller. The next one would be active document because this is the document that, hey, what are you talking about? I did it right. So active document, right? And then another dot, which gets smaller, is activate. And that should be enough. I believe that's what we do to activate it. So what you do is you go like this, and then we'll just copy paste it because it's that simple. But let's double check to make sure we got it. Actually, you know what? Let's do the other ones first just to make sure. I want to do this one. So again, I copy pasted. So I'm just going to go to the bottom and active window activate, but that's not enough. What you're going to do there we go. And that should be enough. And then same thing here. Let's go to hunter killer. See, I'm doing it live. This might not work. I think this is what we do. It's been so long. All right. So then we're just going to save this. And we're going to debug. Make sure we didn't do anything wrong. Nice. That's what you want. And then we're going to open. We're done with this. I'm going to put this on my other screen. And then we're going to open this up. Whoa, there they all are. Now we got to kind of do all this. Get all this out of the way. It would be nice if Windows remembered where everything goes. Corel remembers where all the Dockers go, but it doesn't keep track of where these go. So you have to do this every time. All right. So if we go like this, double click. Oh, why is it not shipping back? Why is it not shifting back? How about kill fonts? Nope. So what you can do is just rob and steal. Maybe I'm misremembering what you're supposed to write. Let's double check. Survey says. So let's go to, hey, this is what it is, man. You want to write your own code. This is what it takes. So Mr. Goodbar, let's look at one of the ones that does work. So let's go to this one. What did I do? Oh, active window. That's what it was. Active document, active window. See, I heard you yelling at the screen. I knew you knew. It's active document, active window. So I'm going to do control copy. That's what it is. Active document, active window, activate. Form of. So back to Hunter Killer. See, nobody got hurt other than your time. You're like, why, I got better things to do. So let's go to kill fonts and let's get rid of that. And we're going to do control paste. And we're going to get rid of that. Control paste. So this is what I did to all of my code. I went through all of it and added this line. And so again, if I would have just known, and as I wrote it, these little things, they help. Debug, looks good. Thank you for your service. Open this up again. So, but I'm just going to keep Hunter Killer out. Mr. Goodbar. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We don't need you, we don't need you, we don't need you. I know. We'll get to you. They're like, I want to play. So let's try it again. So if we go like this, double click. If we go like this, double click. And we go like this. See, that works good. You know what it is? I think there's something to do with the double click of that. Oh, I know what it is. I'm going to the wrong place. That's what it is. See, you didn't tell me that. So you got to go to the actual place that's at. That's the double click. I'm in the double click. Why is it not? The double click by value. View code. Why is it not? Ah, there it is. The double click by value for that one doesn't have it. There it is. Yeah. Active document, active window. Why is it not returning? That is interesting. Huh. So it is definitely working with that, with the other button, but it's not working with those two double clicks. Maybe something to do with the double click. Might be an internal issue. We'll have to go further into that. But the corner kicks we can fix. So, this one's, that's why. So this one's calling another function that I wrote. So now you have to go find that function. And then we're going to add it there. There we go. That should be enough to fix that. So let's double check that to make sure we have it. Save. And one more time. So now we have this. Let's just, we can close all these for right now. I know, I'm sorry. You guys want to play. So we're gonna go like this, and this should now shrink it. And yep, so now Mr. Goodbar is out of focus. Corel draws back in focus. So that button's fixed. And let's go fix these real quick. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check out Hunter Killer. Maybe I'll get back to you on that. How come double clicking doesn't send it back? I think it has to do with the fact that you click it, it goes into focus, but the double click makes it, I think it's almost like a weird bug that the fact that you double click, it goes to focus, but then you redouble the focus so I think there's a little bit of a bug issue there. But these guys here, so call grow time, and paste. And corner kick. So what I could do is I could see if I can find all the grow times. That's shrink time, that's grow time. I could find it, but it's just easier sometimes because I have so many functions and things that it's almost easier just to see. I could try to find all the grow times, but oh, I already had it there. See, that's what I'm saying is like I kind of fixed it on some of them, but I didn't fix it on the others. Actually, you know what? We can do it here. You can do it anywhere because it'll come out of grow time. This is probably the best way to do it. There's no right or wrong. There's better and best and just what works for you. But I'm just going to do it right when it comes back out of the function just to make sure. And that should do it. Or you can go like I was doing. I was going to the function like a good boy. But I think this will work. Yep, one more time. Oh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to go like this, and it should grow. Let's do it a big one, 3/4 of an inch. And yes, focus is on Corel, so that fixed it. So that's it. I know it's like, thanks for your patience, but pushing these buttons, the focus is back on Corel. You can see where it's green up top, and the focus is not on Mr. Goodbar. So that means I can grab these. I can say I want to grow this 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm right back to working. See, my nudge is working. I'm good to go. Maybe I want to make these red. I hit red. Maybe I want to undo. But if focus was back on Mr. Goodbar after I push that button like this, then I'm not back in the game. So then I have to click once, reselect, then I'm back in the game. So again, that's where it's helpful to have that. So let's go ahead and shrink them. But focus is back to Corel. That fixes that. So I know that there are some other buttons that are probably going to pop up, but that's basically how you want to do that. You want to make sure you put that line of code. It's the, just for ha-has, because I know I kind of had it wrong to start with. So it's the active document, active window, activate. You could also put application.active document, but you don't really need to, because it does get the idea that it infers that it's Corel. But anyway, so all right, so that's basically it. So hopefully that helps if you're writing code and getting started. Make sure you get your focus back to Corel, get it off of your user forms. So, but that's it. So again, if you have any questions, hit me up.